It was a quiet morning in December 1948 on Somerton Beach near Adelaide, South Australia. Walkers noticed a man lying on the sand, dressed in a neat suit, his posture calm, almost as if asleep. But he was dead. There was no identification, no wallet, no personal belongings. Every label in his clothing had been carefully removed. He had arrived in the world silently and left it without leaving a name. In a hidden pocket, police found a tiny scrap of paper with the words "Tamam should," ended or finished. Weeks later, the book it came from, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, would be found, containing a mysterious code that has never been solved. The Somerton Man's death remains one of the most baffling unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. Who was he? Why was he there? And what secret did he carry to the grave? This is the story of a man who vanished into history without a trace. On a quiet morning in December 1948, the sands of Somerton Beach near Adelaide in South Australia were touched only by the faint waves of the ocean and the footprints of early morning walkers. Among them was a man, neatly dressed in a dark suit, his posture calm and composed, yet lifeless. He was discovered leaning against the sand as if he had simply fallen asleep, but there was no waking him. From the very first glance, the scene was perplexing. The man carried no identification, no wallet, no personal items. Even the labels in his clothing had been carefully removed, making any attempt to trace his origins nearly impossible. His shoes, suit, and overcoat all bore the marks of intentional anonymity. Whoever he was, he had gone to extraordinary lengths to erase all evidence of his identity. Medical examination revealed no obvious cause of death. There were no injuries, no bruises, no signs of struggle. The man's body appeared to have succumbed suddenly and quietly, as though some invisible hand had ended his life. The official autopsy noted that the cause of death was undetermined, leaving more questions than answers. Investigators soon uncovered a small but extraordinary clue. In a hidden compartment of the man's trousers was a tiny scrap of paper. On it were the words "Tamam should," Persian for ended or finished. The phrase had been torn from a rare copy of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a book of poetry known for its philosophical musings on life and death. The discovery of the paper led to the book itself, found weeks later in the glove compartment of an abandoned car near the beach. Inside the book, authorities found a code, a series of letters and numbers which no cryptographer could decipher. The message, carefully written, seemed to hint at a hidden life, a secret that had gone unnoticed and unrecorded. His fingerprints were sent to databases around the world. No match. Dental records were consulted. No match. Missing persons reports were searched. Nothing. This stranger was like a ghost, a man who walked into the world and left without a trace of his existence. Witnesses began to speculate. Had he been a spy? The timing, just after World War II, the location, the careful preparation, and the code all suggested intelligence activity. Australia had been a hub for communications, strategic ports, and post-war reconstruction. It was plausible that he had been involved in matters too sensitive to reveal, yet no agency came forward, no records were released, and no one claimed him. Over the decades, numerous theories emerged. Some suggested he had been poisoned, quietly and with precision. Others argued that he had taken his own life in a deliberate theatrical gesture, leaving behind the paper and the code as his final message. Still others imagined more fantastical explanations, secret missions, international intrigue, or even connections to organized crime. Forensic science continued to advance. In the 21st century, DNA testing was applied to the remaining tissue and personal effects. Analysts traced potential relatives in Iran and Scotland based on mitochondrial DNA. But even with these modern tools, the identity of the Somerton Man remained unconfirmed. Every lead ended in uncertainty. Every clue seemed to deepen the mystery. The location of his death also raised questions. Somerton Beach was a popular spot, yet the man had been found in relative isolation. How had he arrived? What had he done the night before? Why had he chosen to die here, on this unremarkable stretch of sand, instead of a private home, a hotel, or a remote area? The answers eluded investigators then and now. Even the code within the book remains a topic of fascination. Attempts to crack it ranged from simple letter substitutions to complex cryptographic analysis. Some experts suggested that the code could have been a cipher of personal significance, a message understood only by him and perhaps a single correspondent. Others speculated that it might have been a journal of locations, dates, or contacts, though nothing has ever confirmed this. Beyond the physical evidence, the story of the Somerton Man endures because of the human element. He is a symbol of anonymity in a world that expects to know, to categorize, to record. He walked through life in silence, leaving no name, no past, no testimony. And in his death, he reinforced that silence, creating a narrative that continues to captivate investigators, journalists, and the public alike. The Somerton Man's case also reveals much about the culture and society of 1940s Australia. Post-war optimism and reconstruction contrasted sharply with the presence of cold, unsolved mysteries like this. The meticulous removal of labels and possessions demonstrates an understanding of bureaucracy and identity that few would have considered at the time. His actions suggest intelligence, cunning, and awareness of consequences. Families of missing persons were questioned, old records examined, and local archives combed through, yet every trail led to dead ends. Even photographic evidence, a few blurry snapshots from the era, offered no identification. This stranger was like a ghost, a man who walked into the world and left without a trace of his existence. To this day, experts continue to revisit the case. Historians, cryptographers, and forensic scientists analyze the details, the chemical composition of his clothing, the arrangement of his possessions, the paper of the rubaiyat, the handwriting, and the code. Every detail is studied, yet every solution opens another set of questions. Ultimately, the Somerton Man reminds us of the fragility of identity, the impermanence of life, and the vast unknowns that can exist even in a modern, documented world. He is not just a case file, a corpse, or a code to be solved. He is a mystery that refuses closure, a life that was erased, yet continues to speak through the absence of answers. More than 70 years after his death, the Somerton Man remains unidentified. He is remembered not for who he was, but for the questions he left behind. Every new discovery, every analysis, every theory only deepens the fascination. His story is not merely about a man found dead on a beach. It is about the enduring allure of the unknown, the human need to find meaning in mystery, and the realization that some secrets may never be fully revealed. The Somerton Man walked silently into history. He left no name, he left no past, he left only questions and the story of a life ended in mystery. And as long as people continue to wonder, he will never truly be gone.